Hi guys, and welcome to today's Alakazam Live. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the legend that is Mr. Wayne Goodman. Wayne, and he walks off screen. It's Singing Dan. Hi Dan, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. And what have you two little munchkins been up to today?
We've been partying. It's a big party here today. We've non-stop. No,
Yeah.
We've been working, just doing some stuff. Been to town, got some chores done. Been good.
Nice.
Nothing really exciting.
No, nothing exciting. Not today.
Oh. That wasn't...
Well, I had a bit of a traumatic experience last night, Pete.
Go on.
Well, I was in a random car park in Stevenage, and a wild creature was terrorized. It wasn't a badger, but it was a dangerous giant T-Rex. Now I can't show it, but there is video evidence.
There is video evidence, and we may be playing that later on. So we'll see. It's all on the roll.
Start blowing up.
All on the roll of a dice. But I'll give them a lot of chances. Not six-side. We're going to go for a nonigon. That's one chance.
Nine-sided dice.
Yeah, nine-sided dice. So whether we'll see the T-Rex in the car park or not.
I mean, it was attacking people. It was chasing people. Tried to bite my head off once. I tell you, it was a scary, scary time.
And
I know I'm on meds at the moment, but nothing to do with them. I tell you, it was legit. There's video evidence.
Well, I should think someone's going to be on the edge of their seat as we speak now, anticipating.
I just got a message come in. I can't say who it's from.
Yeah.
But it says, "Don't you dare."
Don't you dare not.
I don't know what they're talking about. I've got no idea who that person is.
Don't you dare not show the video. Is that?
I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
They're saying.
Because, it's one thing you shouldn't say to Wayne is anything about daring, because you know what he's like.
No, but there were some people that I wouldn't dare cross. There were some people that
even you're scared of.
I'm terrified.
Unfortunately for them, you're not the one with the buttons in front of them. So anyway, let's get on to today's live. So there's things happening here in the studio next door today, which is really interesting. It's a future addition to Unlimited. Now, Unlimited, we've always said we want it to be an all-encompassing resource, really, for Magic and the associated entertainments. So we have hired an exceptionally good face painter who is doing a course on face painting, which will be available on Unlimited to all Unlimited members. And like all of these things, we got a balloon modelling one coming up as well. Like all of these things, they're just extra little bits that you've got in your arsenal if you ever decided to do it. So really excited about that. So that course will start running, I think, in a month's time or something like that. So that's really good. So you might hear some noise going on. I think they're on a lunch break at the moment, but you might hear some noise going on in a bit. And that's what
was quite interesting was before we went live, you went on the mobile camera and went through and showed me what was going on. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that the setup looked amazing.
Yeah.
She really knows what she's doing. She's got all the proper equipment, and it's going to be a really good, like you say, a really good resource if it's something you want to do. Or I know a couple of people in my area who have got their other halves or their girlfriends, etc., to learn balloon modelling or face painting, so they can come along with them to the gigs, and they can charge it as a premium. So they go, oh yeah, you get the hour magic show or the 2 hour magic and games, and I can bring in my other half who can come and do some face painting. It's going to be X amount extra. So this is something that I think will be, very useful to a lot of people if you want to add that extra little thing to what, so you could do it together, not necessarily for yourself, but for someone you could take with you to do it. And again, it's a premium thing that you can add on and earn a bit more money.
Yeah. Right, I'm just reading some of these comments coming in.
Yeah, I'm getting a couple as well.
Oh, yeah, and Barry Gibbs said, who saw Nick Einhorn on the chase last night? I did. That was a repeat, I think. I'm sure I've seen that episode before. And they won. They beat the chaser.
Wow. Nick Einhorn's a clever guy, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Oh, there's a comment here actually. We've just put up a video. I'm going to play it now because it was one of the videos I chose to play today. I've just seen the trailer for Cartomancy. It looks great. Do you go into more? Do you go a bit more in depth on it and skill level need? Oh, can I go? Says good. But right, so. Let's have a look at the video and then we'll get back and we'll speak about it a bit. You know Cartomancy, don't you, Wayne?
The one with the little card?
Yeah.
The scratch card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Cool. Let's take a little look at this.
I've got £30 and I'm after a card trick, an easy one, but one that's a little bit different, if that's right.
Just the thing. It's called Cartomancy.
Okay.
Have you heard of Cartomancy before?
I haven't actually, no.
So Cartomancy is the art of telling someone's fortune just by using a deck of playing cards. In fact, they say everyone's got a lucky playing card.
All right.
And we can find out what your lucky playing card is by using a deck of cards. You can see there's 52 different cards in the pack.
Yep.
And we'll start off just by giving the cards a little shuffle like this.
Okay.
And we will give the cards a cut.
Lovely.
Now, as I deal through the cards, you're going to see every single card go by. But as I deal through, you just say stop whenever you feel like it.
Right. Stop.
Here?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, we're going to place that there. That's going to be your lucky card.
All right.
Now, remember, you could have stopped anywhere here.
Yeah.
You could have stopped anywhere here. Now, in my pocket, I've got one of these Cartomancy cards.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this should tell you your lucky playing card.
Right.
In fact, you take hold of that. There's a 10p coin. Let's scratch that off and see what your lucky card is.
Let's have a look. Right. 5 of diamonds, it says.
The
Look.
5 of diamonds.
That's what is on there, yeah.
Well, there's only one way to find out whether the 5 of diamonds really is your lucky playing card.
There's no way.
Turn it over.
How the hell? That's insane.
And that is Cartomancy. Really simple to do.
That's so good. What if I stop somewhere else? That's insane.
You don't find the card finds you.
No, that is insane. And I get taught how to do it in there, yeah?
Yep, you get everything you need inside.
All instructions and everything.
Everything.
All right, yeah, I'll have one. Thank you so much.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you very much. Keep the 1 penny. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
That's crazy.
So that's Cartomancy. I will say that's not the handling I usually do. It comes with everything you need. So it comes with a whole bunch of the scratch cards. It comes with a special deck, so the trick is totally self-working. The routine I did there is a little bit different, but I usually just carry the cards on me and I go into the routine with a normal deck in play. So, you know, it's the reveal that makes it, in my opinion. It's that scratch card reveal. So I usually just use it with a deck in play rather than using the special deck that comes with it.
And how many scratch cards do you get in there?
I believe you get 50, something like that. Yeah, you get a good amount. And I just usually have a couple in my wallet and I'm just ready to go into it at any point during a card set. It's great for tables, great for, you know, mix and mingle. It's just a brilliant card reveal. And it seems impossible because they're scratching it off, you know.
And it's an impossible, they get to keep it as a souvenir as well.
That's it. That's it. And the card looks legit, you know, there's all information about Cartomancy and, you know, a bit of information about the history as well. But yeah, that's Cartomancy. It's a very old effect of mine. and I think we got a few left in stock. Haven't got many, but it's it's a great little effect. So if you're interested, go pick one up.
Lovely jubbly.
So, what else has been happening in the world of Wayne and Dan?
Don't know.
Wow, Jesus,
I had
you two are a bundle of joy today, aren't you?
I had a very unusual show on Saturday.
Go on.
I'd never done one. Well, it wasn't unusual, but it was. I did a naming ceremony for a family, and it's basically a non-religious christening. And they had godparents have guardians, and it was very nice, very sweet. But when it came time, they booked me to do a kids show because there's going to be quite a few kids there. And when I turned up, there was 6 kids. There was 4 little girls and 2 little boys, and all the parents sat down. They asked me to do a kids show, but then it was more of an adult parlour show. Now, luckily, I've always got stuff on me. I'm always ready to go. You can give me a pack of cards and I can do a show for them. But it did catch me off guard a little bit, and it was a little bit of there are 4, 5, 6 kids here, and I've got to make sure I include them, but I need to do something else as well that's going to encompass with the adults. So yeah, it wasn't a challenge, but it did catch me off guard a little bit.
So what did you end up doing?
Well, for instance, I wanted to make sure. So the trouble you have with this kind of show is that if you do too much for the adults, you're going to lose the kids, and then they're going to get restless, start running around.
So
and you're going to look terrible.
Was it stand up?
Yeah, so it's a stand-up show. So
right.
They were expecting a kids show, like I would do at a 5 or 6 year old birthday party.
Yeah.
And the little girl Florence, whose naming ceremony it was, they do the naming ceremonies when they're born, but because of lockdown and COVID, they couldn't. So they decided to do it on her near her 5th birthday.
Yeah.
So her and her friends were all 4 and 5 years old. But yeah, if you do too much for the kids, then the adults are going to get bored because it's too kiddified. And if you do too much for the adults, the kids are going to get bored, run around, and you're going to look terrible as a children's entertainer. So you've got to try and that real slight balance there to make sure everyone's doing the right thing. So I did things like cards across, and I got all the kids really involved in counting the cards as a group. I did 20th Century Silk, which is a great trick for kids and for adults, because you get the beauty of the silk vanishing. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because I've still got it here. I used the Lee Alex Devil's Handkerchief for vanishing it. So it looks good, it looks really great. And I can get the kids involved in that, and everyone wiggling their fingers to make it move. I did a couple of kids' tricks as well. It was quite funny because the trick that got the biggest reaction towards the first half of the show was the colouring book, which the adults really responded to, which is always great. But yeah, like I say, it wasn't a challenge, and I'm a family entertainer anyway, so I'm used to. But it just caught me off guard a little bit. It just caught me. Oh God!
That's quite that's not an easy task, is it? To do a show, like a stand-up show that's gonna. How old were the kids?
4 and 5 years old.
Yeah, so I mean that's a big ask, isn't it? To do a show that's going to entertain the adults.
As well as entertain the children.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep it. It's a very fine line. It's not necessarily difficult if you know what you're doing, but it is a very fine line, and it is if either way you're going to tip. You're going to go too far into one field. But it went really great. They loved it. It was a good show. But yeah, it just sort of like it's made me think about having maybe a few more tricks in my case ready to go that that I can call upon if I need to, that are great for the kids and great for the adults.
Yeah.
I would have done the water pistol trick, but because the kids were so young, I'd have probably ended up making one of them cry.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to do. It was just a little bit of no problem, I can do this. And then try and find something that fits.
So how did you, when you had finished, how did you feel it went?
I thought it was good. I mean, everyone loved it. There was great applause all the way through the show. Got lots of feedback from the people there. People coming over saying they really enjoyed it. I do a thing in my kids show. I don't know where this started or why I started doing this, but I've always done it since I was a teenager on the ships, especially when I was in Spain, and especially now at birthday parties where if I'm doing a birthday party, I will pick on one of the adults relentlessly through the show.
Yeah.
So I will do any gag I can, I'll throw it at them. So when I've got the kids calling out animal noises for the animals, I get him on his own it's always a man, it's always usually an uncle if I can do it. And I relentlessly just berate them and get them to join in. When I've got Rocky Raccoon and he does the floss, I get all the kids up to do the floss. And I say, do you want to see a professional do it? And I do like this, do you want to see a professional do it? And limbering up, and they go, yeah. And I go on then, mate, off you go. And I make him stand up and do it. And I'm just constantly humiliating him in front of everyone. And literally all the adults were like, oh my God, you really did one on Callum. That was really good. So it was really nice, that the adults, the kids thought it was funny because it was an adult doing it. All the adults thought it was funny because they were glad they weren't being picked on, basically. And Callum loved it because I made him I don't humiliate them. I lift them up. I make them the star of the show.
Yeah.
And at the end of the show, when we're getting a round of applause, make sure he gets the biggest one. But it was good. I thought it went really, really well. It was a really good show. And it just, I don't know why it caught me off guard. It was just one of those moments where you go, you're expecting all the kids to sit down on the floor and you entertain them, and you keep the adults watching that way. But when they're all sat with the parents and you're basically looking at a room full of, because there's so few children there. If I had 30 kids there, the adults wouldn't have phased me at all, because I'm working to the crowd, I'm working to the mob, and the adults join in. But when you're sitting out and the kids are all sat on the laps of the parents around the room, and you're looking around and there's no kids in front of you, and you're just looking at a sea of adults, and you've got a colouring book and a magic wand that flops down, it's kind of like you look at it and you go, yeah, this isn't exactly how I pictured this going. So it did kind of start me, but then when I got going, it was fine.
But it's a very good lesson as well, to say, even though you've been doing it for X amount of years, there's still times where you're learning. You know? That's the thing, and it's things like this that make you get prepared so it doesn't happen again. And that's the beauty of being able to look back on what you've done and being able to be a bit self-critical, really, because at the end of the day, you're unprepared for that situation because you haven't come across it before. Now you have, you won't be unprepared again.
And that's and also acknowledging that you need to be a little bit flexible, that you can't be so structured and rigid that you can't adapt to a situation. Whenever I talk to bride and grooms for wedding, they always go, oh, are you okay working in this? Have you worked at this venue before? You're okay working? And I always say to them, look, every single show I do is bespoke. I could do 2 shows in the same venue, one after the other. So half an hour later, I could do another show in the same venue, same tricks, same show, to a different audience, and the show will be different because no 2 shows are ever the same. Every show, because it's the crowd that make the show as well. So you've just got to be that little bit flexible, a bit more adaptive, and go, okay, this is like this. I think the thing that really caught me off guard was the fact that I didn't realise it was going to be like this until I was starting. And I was going, should we get the children to come sit down the front? And none of the children want to leave their parents because they were so young. And it's sort of like, okay, if I'd have known it was going to be like that, I would have been more prepared beforehand. But not knowing, you kind of step out there and go, God, I hope I'm okay at this, because otherwise it's going to be a long hour. But no, it went really well. It was a good show. I was really pleased with it. And like you say, now I'm prepared. Now I'll know. And I'm going to stick a couple of things. There's 2 tricks I didn't have in my case. I've got them in my stage show case that I haven't got in this case. Actually, one trick, the Professor's Nightmare, which is great if you're working to a mixed audience, because the kids can come up and help you with the rope and checking out the rope, and I get them running around the room to collect them, etc. And then the adults appreciate the actual magic of what they're seeing. So that's a really good one for kids and adults. It's what I used to open my holiday park show with, because it was a great way of getting everyone's attention. It's good magic. It's really strong. It's quite startling, and then you can move on to something else. But yeah, it kind of just tripped me up a little bit. But yeah, it was good, very good.
Cool. It's always interesting to hear things like that. I mean, it happened to me a few times, not that situation, but there's been, you know, close-up gigs that I've done where I've walked out and went, I hadn't hit that situation before, and next time I'm going to be prepared. And it catches you off guard, you know, yeah. But it's good to be able to walk out and, you know, keep note of what it is that you weren't comfortable with, or you need to improve on, or you need to prepare for. And it's the same thing when we're working in tricks, when we're going to release a trick. I mean, how long do we perform that trick, talk about that trick, and tweak that trick before it comes out?
Yeah, months, years sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we want it to be perfect, we want to make sure, you know, it's ready to go. There's no point, you can't do it with a half an effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even there's a trick that we're bringing out. We've got a few coming out from Nicholas Mavresis, and one of them, Nicholas sent us the trick, sent us his performance, the explanation. We really loved it. We bought the rights, and then when we were filming the explanation, we come up with an additional idea for it, which meant we had to get the cards reprinted, which we did, and then we refilmed it. But then we had it at Blackpool, and by the end of Blackpool, I came up with another way to do it, which means we're going to refilm the instructions for a third time. But each time, the effect has got stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, but you only get that by facing it, by facing that issue.
Yeah,
That's a
100%.
very good, it's a really good lesson. It's a good thing to sort of tell people about, because I'm sure people look at you and feel that you're never fazed about anything because you do so many gigs. But it's good to know that there's still situations that come up that you wouldn't have experienced before.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, shall we go and have a look at a little video? Because for those of you out there that are Alakazam Unlimited members, you have got a special live lecture coming up, happening inside the Unlimited platform. And here to tell you all about it is the man himself, Daniel Chard.
Hi Alakazam, this is Daniel Chard here, really excited to announce my upcoming live lecture for the Alakazam Unlimited platform. As a magician, one of the things that you'll be able to resonate with is when you're just walking along every day, you've got all of these tricks ideas bubbling in your mind. But as soon as someone hands you a deck of cards, you're instantly going to go, oh, what do I perform? The lecture is called When Someone Hands You Their Deck. So I'm going to be teaching some of my favourite effects that are audience tested, ones that I use in my regular work, and also some amazing effects that my friends have let me share. These are tricks that don't require a lot of setup. If they do require any, it can be done very easily and in front of people in a non-suspicious manner. This is going to be updated on the Alakazam Unlimited platform for $4.99 as part of your membership. That will be added for you to refer back to again and again and again. And I want this to become like your Bible for easy and strong tricks. So with that said, I look forward to seeing you on April 29th at 7 p.m. for the live lecture. See you then. Peace.
So that is happening on Unlimited. If you're not a member yet, go sign up. It's £4.99 a month. And there is so much content on there, and we add new content every single week. So what have you got planned for this afternoon, gentlemen? I can see Dan there being as chatty as always. Hello, Daniel.
I can't shut him up. The thing is, when you turn the camera off, when you go off to a video or something, he doesn't stop.
Could you tell me what? It'll be a relief, like when you go away next week. Maybe we'll have a couple of weeks peace and quiet.
So we're sorting out some stuff here. We're sorting out some bits here in the house. We've also got we're talking about the Newmarket convention, shameless plug.
Yeah.
Which is coming. There we go. Which is coming up in November. Get your tickets now. We've got Chris Congreve is now listed as one of the lecturers.
Where
Still
do they
waiting for that
get their
fourth one.
tickets?
Yeah. Fourth one.
WGMagicshop.com. So
WG
WGMagicshop.com, and you can get your tickets. £30. We've got 3 lectures confirmed. 1 we're waiting on. We've got a show. We've got lots of sessioning and jamming throughout the day. We've got the Friday night meetup, which is just a £5 donation towards the food on the Friday. Which is the food last year was lovely, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
It was amazing, and we all session and jam there. And we might have a couple of little mini lecturettes there, a bit like we had this year at Blackpool in the Russ Brown Bar. And we've got, it's going to be really, really good. It's going to be the biggest and best one yet. So I'm very excited. And tickets are selling, and it is limited space. So if you want to come along, grab your tickets.
And who are the 3 confirmed lecturers?
So it's Craig Petty.
Yep.
Chris Congreve.
Yep.
And John Morton.
So
very, very, very strong.
Yeah, you can't really top those 3, can you? I mean,
wow, I don't know. There is one person I can think of.
But, well, we're just waiting to find out. I mean, Copperfield wasn't available, so we went to the best one above him, really. And Danny was actually the first person to get the ticket for it. So, yeah. And all 3 of those lectures are really, really strong. Chris Congreve's got some great material, and he's a crowd favourite. You know, he's got a good following, and you know everyone knows his stuff's workable. Material's great. John Morton is a living legend, in my opinion.
And he just come and did a lecture for our club, and it was agreed unanimously on the committee meeting last night that he's been one of the best lecturers we've ever had.
None taken.
Great. I mean, they're all fantastic. They're all commercial. Every one of them does effects that you go, wow, that's fantastic. And when they show you how they're done, you go, I could do that. That's achievable. It's great watching these lectures where you have these heavy sleight of hand artists that do this beautiful magic, and at the end of it, you just go, yeah, I won't be doing that. I enjoyed watching it, but that's as far as that's going to go. Whereas with John, with Chris, with Craig, all of those, you watch them, it's good, strong magic, but it's magic that you can go away and do, you know, and they're always very clever methods, especially John Morton. He thinks really outside the box.
I've just got John's, I got one from the Congreve convention, the new version of Imposter with the Sharpies. And it's so beautiful. It's really well made. The Sharpies look great. I did it. I was at my other half for the other night. We had with her mum, and I did it on them, and it went down really, really well. And there's his Official 50 is amazing.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
Yeah, Official 50. I mean, it just looks great as well. It's such an amazing thing. His baby book, still a great seller and a great piece of commercial magic. So yeah, John's one of my favourite creators at the moment. I love John. I got on really well with him as well, and his wife, and they're both lovely. And he's been a real help to me as well in the past with some of my ideas, and he's just a really great guy. Craig, obviously, I mean, takes no introduction. And the thing about Craig is, and one of the things I love about the Newmarket Shindig is, and what I want to try and do more this year, is when he's not lecturing and when he's just sat there with a deck of cards or a coin, Craig has got some, and again, this is more for himself, but he's got some real skill with the cards. He's really good with the sleight of hand, and nobody sees this side of Craig because they see him doing the tricks that he creates and sells. But he's a very, very, very good sleight of hand artist, and so you can sit there with Craig, and if you want to learn a sleight or a move, he knows them all basically, and you can learn them. And it's just fantastic. And the whole point of Newmarket was we wanted a nice friendly convention where people could sit and chat. So like when I mean, I was at a convention, I won't say the convention, but I was at a convention where an act came in 5 minutes before the lecture, did the lecture and left straight afterwards. So you had no chance to talk to them or get to know them or ask them any questions or spend any time with them. Whereas with people like Craig and John and Chris, they're there for the duration. They will chat to you. They're all very approachable. They're all very friendly. I've already got about 6 dealers wanting to be at the convention as well, including a couple of original creators who are doing their own stuff, which I'm very excited about. It's shaping up to be a brilliant day, and one that you will not want to miss.
The good thing about your convention as well is that the fact that I know we've got the Alakazam is a big community, but we've got a lot of people that are just getting into Magic with the Alakazam. They've seen Harry on the socials, bought a couple of tricks, watch our lives, and they're just starting their magical journey. Now, the good thing about your convention is, for one, it's a small convention. It's got that proper family feel where everyone sits with everyone. It's not as if you're going to turn up at this big convention, you're going to be by yourself and, you're just going to be a bit lost. You're there, you're with everyone, everyone's very welcoming and inclusive, and you make new friends. You can sit down with like you said, the lecturers, or what we class as the magic stars, the people that are there as part of the teaching team at the convention, and you really feel a part of it. So even if you've never been to a convention before and you would like to go, but you're a little bit worried about, I don't really know anyone, this is the perfect convention to get you started, because you'll feel included straight away.
I know Danny's watching, so I'm just going to say, Danny, if you can, just stick a link up in the chat.
He's already done it, I think.
Has he? He's a good boy. Look at that. He covers my face up. Look at that. It's even more perfect.
Right, that goes up as well then. So, yes, there you go.
Hopefully we'll be able to announce that fourth lecturer soon as well. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear how that goes.
Yeah,
So am I.
I've got another video to play as well. I can't remember what this one is. Oh, yes, I can. It is a full performance of the amazing Trick 46. The actual trick's name is number 46, or hashtag 46 for number 46. But we called it Trick 46 just so people could search for it and everything else. But this is a phenomenal routine. Absolutely phenomenal. If you want to start doing any sort of stand-up magic, whether it's parlour, whether it's stage, this has not only got the built-in comedy to it, you've got a beautiful magical ending to it. So let's take a look at the trailer, or the performance actually. It's a full performance, and then we'll talk about a bit more about it after.
Let's have a look.
Whenever I perform, people say, how do you learn magic tricks? Where do you go to learn the tricks? And it's a valid question. And there are things called magic shops, not like what you see in Harry Potter, potions and wands and broomsticks and stuff like that, but with card tricks and stuff. So this is one at my local one. It's called Trick 46. It was voted 46th best trick out of 50. So don't get your hopes up. It was in the sale, obviously in the sale for some reason. But it comes with a deck of cards and instructions. So I thought we can learn it all together today. Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to read these out?
I will.
Okay, perfect. So read them out loud. Go for it.
You'll need a pack of playing cards,
Yep.
Sharpie,
Yeah, got that.
willing audience member.
Yeah, do you mind? Yeah, awesome.
Seemed very willing to me.
Yeah.
Magical powers.
I can supply them, we're good, yeah.
A reward as a thank you.
All right, I can think of something. Yeah, no worries. Put it to the back, go to the next card.
Number one, announce to your audience, this is likely the most amazing magical feat you'll ever witness. Watch very carefully.
All right, this is likely to be the most amazing magical feat you'll ever witness. Watch very, very carefully.
Two, take the pack of playing cards and ask the volunteer to choose one.
Okay.
Remember to take the cards out of the box first. With the cards selected, hand them the Sharpie so that they can sign the face of the card.
Sign it right in the middle for me, please, mate. Lovely job.
Doesn't matter if you see the card, but once it is signed, take the card back, tear off one corner.
Oh, tear it off. Okay, hold up. Wait there. Let me rip it. Let me rip it. There we go.
Ask
Yep.
the volunteer to put it in their mouth and eat it.
I can put it in my mouth, Jeremy. Don't worry about it. Right, hang on. Wait there.
Of course, don't actually eat the corner.
Shut. You got to come on, man.
Sorry, I wasn't fast enough. You're not going to need that for the grand finale.
Right.
So pretend to eat the corner and swallow it whilst keeping it hidden in your hand.
Right. That's fine.
Remember
Okay.
palming.
Right. Yeah. Rule 1. Right.
7. Once the applause has
7.
died
Hang on. I
down,
thought it was just on 5. 4.
well, that's the next one. Oh, there's no 5.
Right. It was in the sale for a reason. That's fine. All right. What does it say?
Oh, sorry.
That was good. Yeah.
Once the applause has died down and the audience has had a chance to take in what's just happened, offer your help with a reward from your pocket
Right.
or case and thank them for being so wonderful.
I don't know what was meant to have happened, but just pretend it was the best trick you ever did see. Right.
Yay!
Hey, thank you so much, Jeremy. Reach in, take out anyone you like, my friend. Thank you so much. That's just for helping, all right? I appreciate it. Okay, no, I'm just joking. Right, if you take a hold of that corner, rip the side of that thing off, rip it up. And you never know. That don't look like sugar to me inside there, Jeremy, I'll be honest. Give it a little flick, and maybe, just maybe, we have got a perfect match of the corner piece. There you go. Look at that. Boom, boom, sugar. Thank you
So
so much.
look out for portraits of Alakazam.
Hey, thank you so much for that. Lovely. Thank-
So that is trick 46, which is such a beautiful effect. I want to answer a couple of questions we always get asked. No, you don't have to eat the card because we do provide you with a couple of options on the cards. And 2, the actual corner could appear anywhere. If you don't want the hassle with the sweets, you could have it in an envelope, you can have it stuck under a chair, in your wallet, wherever you want. But it's a beautiful routine, beautifully structured, with an amazing payoff. You know, the corner matching and everything is absolutely superb. Got a question just came in from David. I've got my first unpaid gig in a couple of months. It's a girl's 18th party. How would you start it off so they can take their eyes off their phones? I think the first question is it a... Oh, it's a first unpaid gig. Is it a mix and mingle gig or is it a stand-up gig? I think if it's mix and mingle, I don't think you're going to have any problems at all, because as soon as you hit a group, they'll have their phones away. I don't think many people are on their phones constantly at parties, are they?
Some are, some aren't. It's a mixed bag. What I tend to do, if I go up into a group and they're all on their phones, well, personally, what I would do is I'd say, you got your phones out, let's do a trick with your phones. Or if you want to video this, get your cameras on. And then once I do the first trick, I say, right, put the phones away now. I want you to focus on what I'm doing and then go into it. So lean into them and then pull back and take control. So, yeah, you've got a phone. Or say to them, tell you what, everyone put your phones down, but you're on your own. I want you to help me with this. Keep the phone on me. Keep you on a film. You can send it to everyone afterwards. Yeah. So you don't want to be too authoritarian. You don't want to be too strict. You want to lean into what they're doing and who they are, but you want to make sure you've got control there as well. Yeah. So don't be scared to say, guys, put your phones away. Now, if it's a stand-up gig, I would probably open with Toxic Plus and do the date with it. Everyone get your phones out, open your calculators. Let's all do this together. Another one that's quite good for that as well, on Unlimited, there is a brilliant trick by Ben Sidewell where he has a number generated. Go and check it out on Unlimited. I think it's called Cypher. Right. I will check on that. But yeah, there's an amazing trick on Unlimited by Ben Sidewell. Search up Ben Sidewell. He's only got a couple of tricks on there. It is amazing. I perform it at every gig. And I did it in the Japanese show, and I wrote it in big black letters on a whiteboard, and they took a photograph of it. When Ben does it, he takes a photograph. When I do it, I get one of the kids to hold it, and I get with their camera. I take a photograph of them on their own camera, and then do the payoff, do the reveal. But yeah, if you can do something with their phone, if you can do, what's that?
Cryptic.
Cryptic, that's the one. Yeah, it's honestly, I was performing it for about a year and a half before it came on Unlimited. Ben very kindly taught it to me, and I was working it, and I was sending in pictures all the time that I'd got from doing it while taking pictures of people. If I did use my phone, if they didn't have a phone that I could use, and it was great. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Good for the adults, good for the younger people. It's just a really, really strong piece of magic. And it leans into them. It's using the technology that they're used to. Then you can say, you haven't got to be rude about it. You can just say, well, I'll tell you what, guys, put your phones away and check that. I want you to focus and concentrate. And by this point, you've got them. You've got their attention.
Yeah.
So when you do say that, they're going to want to watch what you're doing next. They're going to follow you around the room and go, do another one, do another one.
And David,
that's what we want.
yeah, David was saying it's a mix and mingle gig. So usually you'll find that people are in small groups anyway.
Yeah.
And if you hit a group and one of them is on their phone, just choose them to be the person that you're going to do the trick on. Just say, oh, would you mind if I use you? Just pop your phone away from it and hold your hands out like this and do whatever you're going to do, but involve them. You usually find that people that are on their phone, especially if they're in a group, are either just responding to something quickly, because it's very rare you're going to be standing with a group of people and just be on your phone, or they're not feeling included in what's going on. So they're sort of a bit shy and a bit here. So by you getting them involved will make them put it away. But I don't think you'll have much problem. And if you see someone with a phone or a group with a phone, go up there. If someone doesn't want to get off their phone, which I think will be very rare, just leave them to it and perform to the others that are there. They'll soon start paying attention.
Something else as well that I have found, if you got to a group of guys to begin with, a group of boys, they will probably say no thank you. They'll probably tell you to go away. No, I'm not interested, mate. I don't care. That's all right. We're talking, whatever. I've had that quite a bit. So what you want to try and do is get a group of girls or a mixed group of girls and boys and go over, and they will always say yes. And then because the girls have said it's good and they like it and you get a reaction, the boys then know it's acceptable. They don't want to be seen to liking it until the girls validate it almost. Yeah. And I've found that especially in the school groups, when I go in to do a leavers prom, I'll go up to the guys, all right, guys, you'll see a trick now, all right, mate. But I'll go up to the girls, you'll see a trick. They're, oh my God, yeah, show us a trick, show us a trick. And they all react. What's great about teenagers especially is they'll always react the only way they know how, which is what they've seen on TV and on Britain's Got Talent. So when you do something, two of them will run away. One of them will be like, oh my God, do it again. You know, you get all those crazy reactions and the screaming and the shouting. Randomly, these two will start hugging each other for no reason at all because they can't believe what they've just seen. You'll get people slapping your back and high-fiving you. And it's great because instantly you've made an instant connection with all of them. But then everybody else who's standing around now know you're cool and you're doing something great and exciting, and they're going to want to get in on that. So I've done it before where I've gone up to a group of lads and gone, just see a trick, and they've literally gone, now, all right, mate. And I'll go over to a group of girls, just see a trick, yeah. And within 2 minutes, those guys have come over and joined that group because now it's been validated. They've gone, yeah, this is cool and this is good. Now it's okay for them to come over and watch it without them losing their street cred or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, just be aware if they do turn you down to begin with, it's not you. It's because they're protecting their image, etc. But if you hit the right group first, I've found that mixed groups are very good. Mixed groups are great because you'll get the girls will be high-fiving you and that, and the boys will be like, yeah, this is cool, or they'll be calling their mate to, oh, Jimmy, come and check this out, it's amazing. And as soon as you've got that validation, then it's plain sailing all the way through.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be interested to know, David, what tricks have you got in your set for your mix and mingle? Let us know which ones you're going to go for. So we've got UK Navy Nige has said, like, you can do things like atomic deck where they're using their phone. John Williams said, I always start with someone that isn't on the phone. I honestly don't think you're going to have much of a problem. I don't think there's going to be that many people on their phones. You're at a party.
The thing is as well, they're at a party. Yeah, I was going to say they're at a party. They're not, they're not sitting at home while their parents are doing something else. They're not bored. They're at a party. They're with their friends. You might get a couple, oh, look at this. You've seen what we did last weekend and check it out. They're not going to be just sat there, WhatsApping or whatever
and they might be taking a selfie or something like that. And It's not, you're not going to hit people that are just like this at a party and not willing to come off their phones. And if you are, it's going to be one or two people. The rest of them are going to be up for it. They're going to be chatting. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I'll be interested to know what sort of tricks you've got planned to do.
I would say for that age group, because of attention spans, etc., you want to keep it snappy and simple.
For most walk around you do, don't you? You don't.
Well, it depends. If I'm working to an older group, you might be able to get away with a bit more involvement. I'd say things like a Crazy Man's handcuffs are good because they're very visible, they're very physical. They can touch them and examine them. So Crazy Man's is good. Coin routine is good, something that they can see and they need to concentrate on, that they need to not concentrate, but they need to be able to focus on, what's here, oh my God, it's gone, it's quick, it's snappy. Long-winded card tricks, I would say, are not a great idea. If you're going to do a card trick, do one that you can do in sections, or that you can just, make it snappy as you can, and that will keep their attention spans and want them coming back for more. They'll want to come back over and go, do it again. Well, I've done that one, let me show you a different one, and you can do something like that for them.
Yeah. Well, David put up a few ideas here. So, like, realistically, if you look at what he's got there, all of these are great for mix and mingle. Obviously, roll you would do in their hands and have them mentally select dice rather than rolling them. But I would get them, I've done roll, mix and mingle before, get them to hold their hands and I deal the cards onto their hand and the face down one. So it's there. But I would say, mix and mingle, something like Imagine, if you're at a group, you only have to do that one trick for that group. Because you can get a lot out of Imagine. You get 3 or 4, mind reading bits. Then you go on to the card turning blank, then the whole deck turns blank. So if I was doing Imagine a mix and mingle, that's probably the only trick I'll do to that group for that sitting. And then I would move on to another group, but that means you can now come back to that group and do something else. If I was going to do something like Zoltar's Opener for me was always designed to be a short, snappy opener. So after I've done that, I would go into another effect. And because it's a card effect, I'd probably go into the hopping coins or hopping halves. But you've got some strong things there. Roll, you could certainly do as a standalone. And then that means you do something to a group, you move on to another group, then you can come back to the first group and do your other bit. So if you imagine, if you've done, if they were the only 4 tricks you were going to do, I would do Imagine by itself, I would do Zoltar's Opener with the hopping coins, and I would do Roll by itself. Now imagine if you'd done each of those to the group, you could see each group 3 times, and each time they're going to see a different set.
Yeah.
And you could work the party with those 4 tricks if that's all you had. Let's have a look. So there's a few comments coming in.
I'd be interested to know how you get on, David, afterwards.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about that, David. Make sure you join us on the live and let us know how it goes. So let's have a look at this. So John Williams put, I sometimes approach a table with young people and show them the cards and wait for them to react and ask for a trick. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you want to be, with anything like this, when you're doing a gig, you want to be in there and you want to be performing. You want to go in, introduce yourself, do it, because that's your job. If you're paid to go in there and do it, in a casual situation where you're just out with mates or at a bar and you fancy showing some magic, hang around, play with your cards, people will ask and you can show them. In a paid gig, you want to hit the tables and do the work.
If you're worried about approaching the table to do something, about being the biggest fear I've found is that people are scared of being rejected, that people are going to say no to them, especially at the tables. So a good way of getting around that is, let's say you're booked for this 18th birthday party and there are some other people there or they're sat at the table, and you go over and you go, right, so let's say it's Charlie, my daughter. So I would go over and I'd go, "Hi guys, how you doing? I'm Wayne. I'm the magician here this evening." And if they don't immediately react to that, I'll go, "Charlie's mum and dad has asked me to come over and do a few quick tricks for you," or the pastor, or Charlie's asked me to come over and do a few quick tricks for you because she says you're her favourite people. So who am I picking on today? Who's going to be my first volunteer?
Yeah.
And you don't even give them an option to say no. You're asking who's going to be my first volunteer, and that normally gets a bit of a giggle. And a few shy people go, "Oh, it's going to be you, sir. Here, I'll do it for you. Take out a card. Just show it to the whole table." Non-threatening, non-alpha, non-aggressive, nice and friendly. I'm here because they've asked me to come over and do something for them, and now you're already into the first performance. I really dislike things like fire wallets and things like that. They're just
That
shock
sort
moments.
of, yeah, the visual thing. But
Yeah, and you're
what you
doing
said,
something.
no, I
Oh,
was going to
sorry.
say, what you said is right. Even when you're doing corporates, if you know the name of the MD and you go over to the group and say, "Oh, John, whatever, your MD has asked me to come and show you some tricks," no one's going to turn around and go, "Well, I don't want to see him." You know, it's you're in straight away, and it's like you said, it's non-aggressive. It gets you in there, and the fact is, when you show people that say no to magic, usually haven't experienced close-up magic. They don't know what it is.
They think you're going to be cheesy. They think you're going to belittle them.
Yeah.
I lean into this. I was at a gig recently. I went up to the table. "Hi guys, I'm the magician." And as soon as I said that, woman over here screamed, and I instantly went into it and went, "That's the kind of reaction I'm looking for. I guess you're going to be my first volunteer tonight. If you could all react like that in future, we can all get along really well here." And she's picking a card. They're all laughing because she has such a big reaction to it. And now before they know it, we're already halfway through the first trick. And anyone who had any reservations, those thoughts have now gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
they're
all
enjoying themselves.
another line I use. This one works very nicely in restaurants, because a lot of people think that you're going to charge them for being at the table or you're expecting money.
Yeah.
Is I'll say, "Hi guys, I'm a magician here this evening. The management's asked me to go around doing some tricks around the table. Don't worry, I am paid for by the restaurant. All you have to pay is attention." And again, it's a nice little line that lets them know I'm not suddenly be like that afterwards expecting
Yeah.
money. They can watch it and they can enjoy it, and it's not going to add anything onto their bill. If they then choose to tip you, that's on them, but you're not pushing that agenda onto them.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it's like, yeah.
100%. David said, thanks, he's very nervous, but thanks for the advice. Do you know what, David? As soon as you do that first group, you'll be buzzing.
Yeah.
You really will. You really will.
I would say as well, I don't just question your nervousness, because I don't think it's nerves. I think it's more excitement. You want to get out there. You got the skills. You know what you're doing. You know the tricks backwards and front. I hope. You know what you're doing. You're excited to get out there. So feed that excitement. Let that adrenaline rush take you over, and just go in and go for it. It's a great feeling. And like Pete says, you hit that first table, you're going to be coming off there, and you're going to be like, "I'm only here for an hour. I want to be here all night."
Yeah.
And you're buzzing, and you cannot wait. And not every table is going to be great. Be prepared for that. But 99% of the tables are going to be amazing, and you're going to have a real blast, and you're going to learn so much. You'll learn more in 1 hour of doing close-up magic in that performance situation than you will sitting at home practicing in front of the mirror. So that's great to get you going, but performance is the best rehearsal.
I will say as well, there's a couple of things I want to add. If you're a member, David, of Unlimited and you haven't watched it already, go and watch Simon Lipkin's course on acting, because for most of us, when we're out, we are a character of sorts. The other thing, which is a bit of advice that I wish I had when I very first started, was if someone says they don't want to see the magic, don't take offence.
No.
Don't get upset. Just say, "Okay, well, I'm about all evening. If you change your mind, call me over," and then move on. Because, I think for a lot of us, we take it, especially when we first start, we take it personally.
I talk about that in the restaurant book, and I say that I've seen advice from magicians saying, "Oh yeah, if they ask you to come back, boo, no, they've had their chance," which is the worst thing at all. If a waiter or a waitress goes up to the table and says, "Would you like dessert?" and they go, "Oh no, thank you," the waiter or waitress doesn't get upset. They don't go, "Oh my God, what, the desserts are amazing. Why don't they want my desserts?" You know, it's not personal. If they don't want to see any magic, it's not because of you. It's because of them, whatever. If they call you back over, which 99% of the time happens, they will call you back. Then that's the moment when you go in there and you hit them with your good stuff. Yeah, you don't have to, you know, if they say no, yeah, it's not personal.
Yeah, I remember just a very quick story. Years ago, it must have been about 25 years ago, there was a bingo hall opening in Brighton, I think it was. And I was booked to go to this bingo hall with another magician. And I'll tell you how long ago it was. The Grumbleweeds were the main act on stage, right? So that's how long ago it was.
Was it in black and white?
So we went there, and there was one lady who was really polite, but I approached her. She was sitting by herself on the table, and I approached her. "I'm Peter, I'm the magician, here to show you I don't like magic." And in my mind, I saw that as a challenge. So I showed her a trick, which was great. I don't know what it was, ambitious cards, something like that. Good trick to a lay person. But she looked at me and she went, "That's very good, but I don't like magic." So then I showed her something else, same response, something else. So I must have wasted 15 minutes on that table. Sorry, one sec. Everything all right?
We're going to come back in and film.
Okay, well, we're wrapping up in 3 minutes.
Perfect.
So I must have wasted 15 minutes at that table trying to impress someone for my own ego, I suppose. Whereas there was plenty of other people there that wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned the lesson, I think.
One thing I'm going to very quickly add, if you are on Unlimited, and this is not a self-boast or anything, especially for that age group, you should definitely go and learn the sponge ball course.
Yeah,
because
100%.
that age group, sponge balls are great.
Any age group.
Well, any age group, but that's a great age group. When I worked in Frankie and Benny's around the tables, the waitresses who were all 17 to 21, 22, it was always their favourite trick. You don't need the dong, stay away from that for this one. Just the sponge balls, they're great. You learn the simple sponge ball routine, and that will get your reputation as being a master magician in that group. They will love it. And they'll do it to my mate, and you'll be doing it all night long.
Yeah, and there's another good comment here by UK Navy Nige. Don't think it's yourself doing the tricks. Invent an outgoing character that's doing them. Now, anyone that knows me personally, not people that see me on the lights or everything else, know that I'm quite a shy person. If we go out at a party, I'm the one at the back. I'm not the one that needs to be the centre of attention or anything else.
Except the Alakazam Christmas staff party.
No, even then, to be fair, you're the foghorn. I'm a little hooter in the back. But when I do go out and perform, I am in character. That character is me, but it's a more confident me, it's a louder me, and it's someone that's there to do a job. And once again, this didn't happen when I first started performing. The penny dropped, I think, after about my 4th gig, when I realised I was going in there, I was hitting the tables, and let's say the table had 10 people on it, I would be performing to one person quite quietly, then performing to someone else. And then I was driving home one night, and I just thought to myself, what do they expect from me? What do they expect me to be like? And the next gig, that's the person I was. And it is a character. And it's not as if I've got to think about going into character. The character just happens. So, you know, it's a really good comment, because a lot of us, some of us are very outgoing, other people are quite shy. So if you're shy, just go into character.
I'm very outgoing anyway, but even when I'm performing, that's an exaggerated version of myself.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, when I'm at home, I can be quite quiet. I like peace and quiet. I like to read a book or be doing something, and I'm not Mr. War. But when I go out to perform for the kids shows or for the close-up, for the weddings, I make my presence known, and I am very outgoing and a lot louder than I am in that moment. So, but it's just so you don't have to create a character necessarily. You know, oh, I'm going to be Willy Wonka or I'm going to be Captain Jack. You know, you can make a. Yeah, that's it, exactly. You can be yourself, but you can ramp it up a little bit, and you can get away with it
because that's what's expected of you. The other thing I will say, we've got to wrap this up now because the guys are going to start filming again next door. The other thing I will say, years and years ago, we filmed The Hypnotist for a DVD. Part of the stipulation was he wanted posters up in the bar a week before we filmed, saying who he was. And I said, what's that all about? He said, because when I'm there, they're instantly going to know I'm a hypnotist and I'm going to hypnotize them. And it's the same as the magic thing. They know what they expect you to be like. So don't feel embarrassed about being slightly louder than you usually are. Don't be embarrassed about doing the jokes. Don't be embarrassed about this thing, because this is what they're expecting. You're there to entertain them. Yeah. So they're expecting someone that's going to go and entertain them. But David, who sent in that original message, I can guarantee once you've done the first group, you'll absolutely love it. So please let us know how you get on. Guys, we're going to have to wrap this up. But I want to thank Wayne and Dan for joining us. Dan, I'm really sorry. I know you had a song prepared and everything for today.
Actually, this time I actually did have one prepared. I was all ready for it and everything.
Yeah, well, next time we'll get you on. And Wayne said, he mentioned flossing earlier, and he said that when it comes to the dance, the floss, you are the man. So next time maybe you can floss while you're singing.
You're singing, making shapes. He's bust a few shapes. I tell you, he's a
well, we can't.
Singing one, dancing two.
I'm not going to be on the live next week, and maybe the week after. So I will see you all in a couple of weeks' time. But yes, there is a live launch coming up at the end of the month, and there is. There's lots happening on Unlimited, so don't sure you don't miss out on that. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Guys, we will see you. I'll be back next week. Until then, I will leave you with this. Thanks for watching.
Hi Alakazam, this is Daniel Chard here, really excited to announce my upcoming live lecture for the Alakazam Unlimited platform. As a magician, one of the things that you'll be able to resonate with is when you're just walking along every day, you've got all of these tricks ideas bubbling in your mind. But as soon as someone hands you a deck of cards, you're instantly going to go, oh, what do I perform? The lecture is called When Someone Hands You Their Deck. So I'm going to be teaching some of my favorite effects that are audience tested, ones that I use in my regular work, and also some amazing effects that my friends have let me share. These are tricks that don't require a lot of setup. If they do require any, it can be done very easily and in front of people in a non-suspicious manner. This is going to be updated on the Alakazam Unlimited platform for $4.99 as part of your membership. That will be added for you to refer back to again and again and again. And I want this to become like your Bible for easy and strong tricks. So with that said, I look forward to seeing you on April 29th at 7 p.m. for the live lecture. See you then. Peace.